Hello, everyone. My name is Rose Simpson. I'm a librarian at the New Haven Free Public Library, and welcome to Co-Create. We have here our creative in residence, Nadine Nelson, and her special guest, Lee Mcknight. Lee's a fun name to say.
Thank you.
So would you two like to introduce yourselves?
I'll let Lily introduce herself first.
Oh,
Okay.
we have a question from Brian Slattery. You're the arts director of the New Haven Independent. You'd like to write an article? Absolutely. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer for you.
So great that you could stop on by, Brian.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you here.
Well, I'm Lily. I'm here in Hamden, close by New Haven, and I run the brand called Ladymade, and it's a community of creative ladies, and we both, foster community and also support anyone inside of that community through a variety of things. And I'm a mom of 2 boys, 1 puppy and 1 on the way. A puppy on the way, not a baby.
I hear they're just as much energy as babies.
Well, yeah, puppies are eternal babies, though, aren't they?
They are. I think that's why we like them.
Oh, really? I like babies, but
Yeah.
I like puppies too, but the eternal having to take them out every day is a lot.
Yeah. It's a commitment. Yes.
For sure. So I'm Nadine. I am the chef owner of Global Local Gourmet. I'm also the creative in residence at the New Haven Public Library this year, and I'm really excited. And we do all different types of things, and this is a weekly program where I talk to another creative and or artist and about what they do, their creative process, their journey, and I create different things. I'm sure Rose is like, is Nadine gonna finish anything? And I will soon, but I like
Sometimes
to
the
create.
process is the whole point.
Right. Yeah, it is about the process. And I am one of those people that I like to work on a lot of different things. And then all of a sudden it comes together and you're like, oh, okay, I see what she was thinking about. And I want you to understand different people's processes because each week, like different artists, different creatives, they approach work in a variety of ways. And I think that's important for people when you are creative to be able to, there's not one particular way. There's not one straight line. It's a lot of times it might be a squiggly, it might be a spiral. And so for people to be able to see that. And then also when we're talking that, it depends, like last week, someone was talking about being a community filmmaker and their process and getting feedback and asking people to look at their film. And so we want people, if you have dreams, aspirations, projects, to share them with us. If you want feedback, to ask. If you want to just co-create in the sense of like having a place where you can safely talk about what you want to bring into existence, this is a great place to be able to be. And Lily, you work with a lot of different creatives, and so I'm sure like if people are on, they can get some really great feedback. And so today I'm working on a wide variety of projects. I think it's like it might be the end of the world. So I brought my cards out because I thought that you would like to have your cards read. Sometimes I bring the cards in because that is a creative practice of mine. So I think I'm gonna make a necklace and maybe some earrings. So I feel like a sense of accomplishment at this co-create. So I make something that I finish, and then I have a glue gun and a whole bunch of paper and other things that I can make paper art and do stuff like that. So
Fun.
yeah, so why don't you tell us about Ladymade, your brand, and how it came to be?
Yeah, I love that you talk about, just sort of making art among other people and even the idea of co-creating is like very integral to my story and the brand story. Because as Ladymade was sort of an idea in the back of my head. And just before COVID, I started talking about wanting to open a co-working space for creative people. And was in the art studio of my friend Bria Lucky, and who's a New Haven artist. And she's just like, well, why don't you open it here? And I was like, okay. And we opened it, we just like launched it right away. And it was just sort of like, whoever wanted to come came, and they could work on their art, they could work on their business. And that really launched, like, even though the co-working, of course, COVID happened and co-working went away for the most part, unless, you're co-working over Zoom, obviously. But that launched like the brand name, and just the idea of community. And then I had to figure, I guess I had to pivot, but it took a couple months to figure out like what Ladymade really is and what I want to do with it. And I mean, I'm still figuring that out because it's only been like 9 months.
It's just a baby.
It's just a baby. It's a puppy still.
Now, like, talk about some of your, like, well, I mean, well, we're co-creating, right? So you can talk about like what, like, you envisioned, like, what is your greatest dream for it? Like,
For
what
Lady-
have you done? And then where do you want to go? Especially now that COVID is in effect and we all have to think about our businesses and how we do business now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my grand vision is a true community of creative women who support each other. And like, I guess one of our sort of taglines is that women supporting women is more than a hashtag to us. And so I'm really interested in the idea of women supporting women and how that can happen in like the real world, but also how it can happen outside of capitalism and outside of the patriarchy, how we can make our own ways of supporting each other. Like, I think co-working is a really good example of that. It's very, like, it's sort of trendy right now, but it's a very like sort of feminine approach to work in a lot of ways.
Can you describe that? Like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like,
I know what you might mean, but I'm just saying for other people.
yeah, I mean, I just feel like women don't want to be alone in a room at 10 o'clock at night making their art or scheduling their Instagram. Like, the women I know, including myself, like, we want to be surrounded by our friends and other women who are in the same business as us, and like, specifically we want to be around other women.
I think women coming together to work on like creative projects has a long history, like sewing circles, quilting bees, that sort of thing.
Mending circles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And things that don't involve fabric and thread.
Yeah. And we just got into a place as a society where it was expected that we would all like live in our separate little boxes. And, we still found ways to support each other, but, I mean, it's ironic because of COVID, but my biggest thing is like women want to be in a room with other women, they want to be in the physical space with other women. So it is interesting to try to make that feeling happen even when you can't be in physical spaces with each other. Or to do.
So are you guys meeting? Do you guys meet online and do like art dates? Because I've been telling people that I don't know if you know Nikki Katz.
Yeah, do you know Nikki?
Yeah, so like we do like art dates and and Amira Brown. She's an artist and she was on here also, and we're gonna do like an art date this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. But I like that because like we can't meet in person, but it's nice to be on Zoom making our art and working on our projects and talking about them. Because I think that one of the things that I like about this, and I think that it's important for people to share what they're doing,
Mhm.
is that part of creating something is speaking it into existence,
Yeah.
and um, having having people that you can get support from and get ideas from, I think is very important, because a lot of people, they're afraid to share their dreams, or they share their dreams with people that are not really receptive to that, because they don't really believe, and they might be like more a 9 to 5 person and
Mhm.
not understand that you, as a creative, that you can make a living and have a good life, and be able to express yourself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we mostly, I mean, I would say the majority of what I do is support other women's ideas. And so right now I am a part of actually a daily 20-minute art, like it's called Art Reset. And every day at 1 o'clock, Bria, opens up her Zoom and women come together and they create for 20 minutes. And so like that alone is amazing and crazy. And the fact that so many women are doing it is really cool, because it's like such a big commitment. Of course, you don't have to come every day, but
Yeah, I've done
yeah,
it
yeah,
probably like 4 times.
yeah. You come when
um
you can, and
Yeah, it's great. It's like, it's wonderful. And like, I mean, just having like 20 minutes, I like that you start with, why don't you describe it actually?
yeah, she usually it'll be either Bria or a guest that she brings in, and she usually starts with a meditation or some sort of opening of the space, which is a really integral part of just like sort of centering yourself, getting prepared. And then I think it's 10 minutes then where people create,
Yeah.
and everybody's on mute. So it's an interesting experience, because like you can feel alone because everything's quiet, but then you look up and you're like, oh, there's 20 other women doing this at the same time as me. And
Yeah, and like
people
people
come
get
back
to
on.
share.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like the wellness, like the meditative aspect of it. I think that that's really good for people. And I think that in the middle of the day, like when we're so hectic and we have to work, it's a really
Mhm.
nice it is a really nice reset, you know?
It is.
Um and also the camaraderie of other women creating together and just working on different things. Some people are working on writing. Some people, like I saw, like they were doing a labyrinth or a mandala, and I'm like, I do mandalas and labyrinths, so it's great
Mhm.
to be able to, later on, as we're developing and creating relationship, to connect with people and see their art process and see like where you might be able to collaborate or just get inspiration from.
Yeah. And it's so fascinating, just like people's work always looks like their own work. Um, but, obviously we influence each other. The meditation influences what people end up doing. So, I mean, anytime women are in a room together, like I find that like just magical stuff happens that wouldn't happen otherwise, and because we feed off of each other's energy. So that happens. That's a really cool thing to happen while you're doing art.
Yeah. One moment.
For your altered book, do you have any kind of like process you're going through, or is it just kind of impulsive?
Um, it's pretty impulsive. I mean, I have done books in the past that were on a theme or were exploring a certain technique.
Mhm.
And I did a book that was sort of like a magazine, so like an altered magazine. Um, and like that whole thing was very like measured, and I mean, it's still process art, but I definitely had specific goals that I was trying to accomplish with that particular piece. But most of the time for me, it's like very freeing. It's like whatever I feel like doing in the moment. a lot of time, like just like whatever word I see in the book in that moment, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something about that, you know. So I really like that piece of it. And also that like you can be doing something and you like totally hate it and it's in a book, so you just rip it out and
Or
start
paint over it.
Yeah, it's like you haven't ruined some big canvas, you know. It's just like, or you just work over it, you know. You could just literally paint on top of it, like paint white on top of it, and just start again. So it's very freeing, I think.
We've got a comment on Facebook. I'm loving this free-flowing conversation. So
Oh,
great. I'm
oh.
glad you're enjoying this. We do this every week, so you're welcome to join us every Wednesday.
And ask questions.
Yeah, if
Ask
you're working on a creative
questions.
project, let us know. I can read out your comments for you.
Yeah. So I'm just like right now coming up with my accent beads. I don't know if you see. I don't know if you can see.
Looks like a pinkish.
Yeah, like I'm doing a pink tone. So I'll take like necklaces that are broken or like that I've gotten from Goodwill or Salvation Army, and they have like all like kind of randoms, and then I'll break them apart. So these are the spacer beads that I'll use.
We've
And
got
then
a question on Facebook. So what is Nadine working on? Could you reiterate what you're working on today?
Oh, so I'm working on a necklace and earrings that hopefully I'll be able to finish. And that's what I'm working on today. And like I like to make jewelry. I haven't been making a lot of jewelry, and I have a lot of different beads. And so I like jewelry, and maybe I might give it to someone. Maybe I might keep it, who knows? But I just thought it would be fun. I was going to do work on collaging if I went to MakeHaven, but I didn't want to be stuck in New Haven, not knowing if we're going to be under curfew, which we should be probably, or not. So I'm at home. So this is what I want to be able to do that would be easier at home than to spread out a whole bunch of stuff to collage. 'Cause I have a whole bunch of things to collage that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks on Co-Create. I've been cutting out stuff and doing that kind of stuff, but I'll put it together probably this weekend with Mira.
And occasionally cooking on Co-Create.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked Soleil if she wanted to, because today's Three Kings Day, and so I asked Soleil if she wanted me to do like half like art, like doing this type of art, and then I wanted to make empanadas because I had stuff for empanadas. She's like, no, because it's like it's more than one camera setup. So my daughter, who is the camera person slash director slash producer, she's being lazy today.
That's all right. Yeah, collage, I find it takes, like the actual finding of the material is what takes so long. And then, I mean, a lot of times that's what takes the longest.
Yeah. I was doing it with my friend this weekend.
What?
But I was doing it with my friend this weekend, but I was like cutting out my pictures. I want to be really intentional because good vision board, it can come to life. And so I want to really think about like what I really want to manifest.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was asking you about Ladymade, like what is your dream? Let's manifest it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to, I want to be a place of community, whatever that means. I don't actually really know what it means at this point because I don't have like preconceived expectations. I mean, like some specific things we have right now are, an events calendar, a directory of creatives. And then we're not doing anything in January, but we do some like meetups for creatives. And then we published 2 shopping guides last year. One just right around the holidays that women could purchase advertising space or get their products photographed and put in. But I'm really open. I mean, I want to support what other women want to do. And then I'm just the type of person that like, if I get an idea, I just go for it and do it. Like Lady Fest that we did in October, I was just like, I'm going to do an all-day Zoom event in a couple months. You know, and I Marco Polo'd all my friends and creative women and said, like, you know, save this date. And we made it happen.
Nice.
So if I get an idea, I'll definitely run with it. For January for me is really about like just sort of like slowing down, seeing what happens, seeing what comes, you know, exploring my word of the year, making my vision board.
What's your word of the year?
Just rolling with it. My word of the year is reset, which is
Okay.
so cool because it goes with the art reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
How did you come up with that? Like the word of the year idea?
Actually, I mean, a lot of women do it. I don't know where I first heard of it, but I've been doing it now for probably 6 years. And at this point, the word like just comes to me at some point. You know, like I'll see it 3 or 4 places and I'll be like, is that the word? And then eventually like, yep, that's the word. So you get to know the process. I think everybody probably has a different process, but
Did
do
you do
you
your
choose
vision?
one, Nadine?
Pardon?
Do you choose a word or a phrase?
I don't know if I choose a word or a phrase. In the past, I've chosen a song. I haven't chosen a song or a word. I'm a Libra, so that can be a little much for me to be able to come up with one word,
Uh-huh.
or one, you know, but usually I come up with a song, but I haven't really thought about it. And like you said, like I kind of let like serendipity happen and see what arises. So, have you done your vision board?
No, I'm signed up to do it on the 17th at
Okay.
Forest.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I am doing through Art Reset is I'm doing actually a separate altered book that's just for my word of the year.
Huh.
Okay.
I'm exploring it this way, and like every spread is sort of like a different question about the word reset or like a different message that comes in. So I've never done that before, explored it like this intensely ahead of time. So I'm excited about that. And I think like,
Cool.
yeah, my vision board is probably going to be totally different this year just because I'm like so invested in the specific word already, but also like, you know, I'm really exploring it ahead of time.
Yeah. I'm doing a portable one.
So how does that work? Like it's
I
just
make like a mini, I make like a mini book, and so I can put it in my bag and I can take it out and I can look at it, you know, as opposed to like a big board where it's like you're like, put it where you're gonna see it all the time. And yeah, we are home all the time, I guess.
Currently.
But and I do have 2 that I have in my room.
Yeah.
But I like a portable one with the hopes that maybe we might be able to travel. And
Very cool idea.
it doesn't even matter if you don't travel, but it's still like just small and you can open it up and flip it. And I like the idea that I'm going to do different aspects of wellness. So I can look at health, I can look at business, I can do 1 page
Right.
for each aspect of wellness that I want to think about.
That's cool.
Now we've got another question in Facebook. Do you have any art skills or crafts that you learned from your elders that you want to pass on? Mine is embroidery.
Oh, interesting.
My grandma taught me to knit, so I haven't actually taught that to anyone else, but it's a tradition I do want to continue. Although right now I'm crocheting.
Cooking. Cooking. My family crochet, like my aunts crochet. I would say like gardening. I have been sewing, but they didn't teach me how to sew. I'm been doing that myself and making tablecloths for my installations and doing stuff like that. With my daughter, I like to do domestic arts like cooking, foraging. I'm teaching her more and more different things. Like she wants to learn how to sew. And we usually do this at MakeHaven. And so MakeHaven has sewing machines. So I'm encouraging her to learn how to be able to do that because they have support there. And I like fabric a lot. And I like using, like if you have, I like texture on clothes and fabric. So if you have like a pair of nice pants and they, like they're like part of it's worn out, but you can be able to cut and make pieces of it and make a quilt, or I do tablecloths. And add to a bigger piece of fabric, stuff like that. So those are things that I like to do. What do you like to do,
That's
Lily?
fun. That's such an interesting question, I want to say, because the altered book that I'm working right now is someone else's book. It's part of a circle where we pass, and her theme is souls, and her question she asked that we're supposed to consider when we do it is like, it is like totally along the lines of that question. She says, what are they telling us? Who are they rooting for? So very cool question. So I was like, it's also a cookbook, Nadine, that we're altering, which I would appreciate. Yeah. But my family passed down the forms of creative expression they passed down to me are storytelling and writing and music.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. I'm excited to see that both of my kids love words and they love music. So I will not be surprised if
my family likes dancing and music, and my daughter definitely is an artist in that way. She loves to sing and she loves to dance. So I don't think I pass that down to her. I love to sing. I grew up, like I used to go to neighborhood music school when I was a kid. I was part of the choir, and I remember during the holidays, we'd be on different corners, like on Broadway and all over New Haven singing, holiday carols, stuff like that. And so she's in the Yale choir. So I guess I passed down, and she has a more angelic voice than I do. So
yeah, I just feel like kids, I mean, I guess some kids can really branch off, but I just feel like kids are gonna gravitate towards like the forms of expression that you, and if you have a co-parent or anyone else predominantly in their life explores, like we just do music all the time in our house. So of course they're gonna love it, I mean, and then they also might rebel against it one day.
yeah, exactly.
So we'll see what happens.
Maybe they like music, but not the music you like.
Oh yeah, there's some of that going on too. We have a 13-year-old. So
what kind of music do you like, and what kind of music do they like?
Well, I primarily listen to folk music, even like I'll listen to contemporary folk, but it's still folk music. Like it's basically guitars and, maybe a fiddle. And my son's like, if it's not a drum, it's not a song, Like, okay, we have different musical tastes. But even just watching his musical taste change, and it's so fascinating, I don't think he has any idea what kind of music he likes, It's going to take a while.
Well, that's age that is the time for experimentation. Try a bunch of stuff, see what you like.
Totally.
Really, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Arkansas.
Okay.
Believe it or not. Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that, and how'd you get to the Nutmeg State?
It was a long journey. I've lived a lot of different places. But most recently I was living in Boston and met my husband there. And because of his job, we moved to Connecticut 6 years ago.
Where'd you guys live in Boston? Can I just ask? Because, I lived in Boston for 23 years.
I know. We lived in Framingham, but he was born and raised in Needham. So sort of like west.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And we just like, he lived there his whole life, and I had lived there 10 years by the time we met. So we just thought we would live there, but life went another way. And we were just like, oh, Connecticut, because like we just looked at it as like a place you go through to get somewhere else.
That's what I tell people. I tell people all the time, it's like, Connecticut is, so many people just look at it as like a drive through
I
to New
know.
York or Boston, or even at this point, Providence.
Yeah. But I mean, we are so happy here. It was really a good move for our family, and our kids love it. And I mean, who knew? But I'm very grateful that we moved to Connecticut. So
The
we're in a,
underground New Haven, New England favorite.
yeah, and I love New Haven. I think it's such a cool place. Um, I mean, and
What
I
do
didn't
you,
even know that
so,
about it.
so what are some of the things that you love about it?
I just feel like it has like this spirit of, I mean, definitely a creative spirit, sort of just like hangs around in the air. And I'm learning more about like the different, art pockets, and meeting a lot of different people um, that are working artists or work in the arts sector. But I just think in general, there's like a very sort of upbeat, creative vibe, and um, I don't know. Like, I'm not usually a big fan of like cities. So I also just like that it's like, it's not huge. I can figure out how
Smaller
to get
city,
around.
not the big,
Yeah.
huge
You didn't,
skyscrapers.
you didn't talk about how you got up to from Arkansas to Boston, and then tell us what Arkansas is like.
Well, mainly school. I went to college in Boston.
Go to school.
In Boston, I went to Simmons College for
Okay.
writing, and then I got my master's at Lesley in creative writing.
Okay. I
Um,
was a resident director at Wheelock College.
oh, that's right around the corner from Simmons, right?
I know, yeah. Yep.
Is it
So
one of the
I was
five?
a director for 3 years
Oh,
there.
that's cool.
Yeah, it was nice living. I lived in a mini mansion in Brookline, and
Fancy.
yeah, and I had, my apartment was down one side.
Uh-huh.
It was so nice. And we had like a um industrial kitchen downstairs.
Ooh,
And
very
so
cool.
their dining hall was like, like all their money was pooled for the house. So like we had gourmet food. It was wonderful. You could only do it for 3 years because they didn't want you to get too close to the students. And they tried to have me
Ah,
be able to stay. And Lord knows I wanted to stay too.
they didn't want to stay in the house forever.
Well, I was like Mrs. Garrett. It was like the best thing because, like, like in Boston, it's so expensive to
Yeah,
live.
I
And
know.
so that was my way to be able to live by myself after college. Like I lived with roommates for maybe 2 years or maybe 1 year, 2 years. And then I was like, I can't do this.
Hmm.
And how am I going to be able? So I was a resident director before, like when I was in college, and I've done it at private schools. So I, luckily I found it and I was able to do it for 3 years, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it is really expensive to live there. Um, I mean, coming from Arkansas, it was total shell shock, just like the amount of money you pay to live in a very tiny space. um, but you're getting a lot, you're getting more than just like a place to live. You're getting the culture and
Yeah, like I tell people, the quality of life in Boston is really good if you're going to live in a
yeah,
city.
yeah. And it has a hometown feel. I think that's why I felt really comfortable there, even though it was a city. I was like, yeah, these, they're little neighborhoods, and you get to know who's in your part of the city.
I was up there because I had to go see my accountant, and I went to go to the ICA. I was able to get a timed visit. I felt so good to be in a museum
Mm.
again. And I had bought tickets for the Basquiat exhibit. I think I got another one by someone gave
Ooh.
me one, but I couldn't get up there when they had it, and then they closed down everything
Mm.
again. But I'd
Mm.
like to go to the Basquiat. And I heard like the MoMA and the Metropolitan, they have time visits. And I think if you go during the week, you'll be able to get in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I like going to those big spaces. I think at least to do that. to find some sense of beauty in this craziness.
When I went to Simmons, I was always jealous of the mass art students. They always seemed like they were having so much more fun than the rest of us.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, I want to be an art student.
Oh, like when I went to Tufts, I took the last year of my senior year, you had to take 2 credits for art. So I took one in like art history or whatever. And then, but I took metal smithing, and that
Ooh.
was great at the Museum of Fine Arts. It was so great. I was so mad that I hadn't done that earlier, taking art classes.
Yeah,
But I
I
always
know.
enjoyed in Boston. I was a member of the Museum of Fine Arts and the Institute, the ICA, Institute of
Yeah,
Contemporary Art. I
yeah.
always loved the Isabella Gardner Museum,
I know.
also. And a really great treasure that not a lot of people know about or go to is the National Museum of African American Artists. That's really great.
Oh, where's that at?
That's in Roxbury. It's like right on the side of Roxbury going into Dorchester, um,
Okay.
by
Yeah.
Franklin Park. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever been to Franklin Park. Franklin Park is Frederick Law Olmsted Park. And
I know.
I don't know if you've been to um, Jamaica Pond or the Arboretum.
Yeah.
So all of those, like the um, in Boston, it's called the Emerald Necklace. And so Frederick Law Olmsted, him or someone from his landscape architect firm, they designed all these beautiful green spaces all around Boston. So if you look from a plane, it looks like Boston is flanked by an emerald necklace, which is all green space and all different Frederick Law Olmsted parks. So Franklin Park is one of those parks too.
Okay. Okay.
So it's right next to, there's a little break um, in between from the Arboretum, but it's right next to the Arboretum.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite. It's my favorite park in Boston. There's a golf course. It's where the zoo is. But
Yeah.
then, but it's a big 3.2 mile loop, and you can feel like you're not like, you can go off um trail and you don't feel like you're in the city. You can feel like you're by yourself.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I lived there, I probably drove down that all the time, especially going to Simmons, but you don't really appreciate it because you're in traffic or, you're late or whatever. But it really is gorgeous if you stop to think about it, like where you are and
Another comment on Facebook. I didn't know that Olmsted also had designed Edgewood Park in New Haven. Edgewood Park in New Haven.
Yes, Edgewood, and also Egerton Park too, in East Rock. And also like most of the major parks in the United States, him or like, so Central Park and Fort Greene Park in New York, and I forgot the park, what the name of the park is in Washington, and probably a park in Philadelphia. But most of the major parks, Humboldt Park in Chicago, most of the major parks in America, him or somebody from his firm um designed.
Looks like that necklace is coming together.
I know, but I forgot well, guess it's not gonna have a pendant because I'm not taking stuff off.
oh God.
Unless you put the pendant on with a
Yeah,
jump
I can
ring.
do that. Yeah, I might. Do you like pink, Rose?
Yeah, I like pink. Red's
Yeah.
my favorite color, but pink is runner up.
Oh, really?
Oh, red's one of my favorite colors too. Red and purple.
I really like warm colors in general as a combination, like reds and yellows and oranges.
Yeah.
I'm a fall baby, so that's probably why.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite pizza in New Haven? Since you're not from here. I always like to ask people that question.
I'm gonna get in big trouble for this one.
I know, that's why I like it. I like it's a controversial question. I like to agitate.
This is like I can't discuss this with my friends from here because
who cares? Like we don't care. Like I always tell people there's a hometown favorite. There's people who have no taste, you know, like their favorite. It's like whatever, you know?
No, the problem is that I actually don't like pizza. Like, at all.
They each their own.
It's very
you don't like any
not popular to say in New Haven.
You don't like pizza at all?
I mean, I will eat it because I have 2 children and you know.
Do you just not like cheese or?
No, I don't know. I just don't like it. I like all the ingredients separately. I mean, I'm not a big tomato fan, so like if I'm having pasta, like I won't choose like a red sauce. I'll usually choose something else. But you know, I've had pizza that didn't have red sauce on it, and I don't know.
Yeah, there are white pies.
You don't even like the white clam pizza, Lily?
I mean, I did.
New Haven original?
I'm glad that I tried it, and like I think. Actually, I don't remember where we had it. I think we tried it when we first moved here. But I mean, you know, we're sort of suburban parents. Like we usually order from Paulinetti's here in Hampden, you know. If we're
I never had Paulinetti's. Where's that?
I think it's quality pizza. I think they have a really good reputation. It's right in Spring Glen, right on Whitney Ave.
So you don't like Old World pizza?
I have not had theirs, but I have been told that it's one of the best in Hampden.
That's what people say. I've had to eat it because they don't deliver, and so you have to go order it. Mm-hmm. So that makes me feel like it's probably really good, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can order Paulinetti's, but I recommend you don't because it'll be like 2 hours later when you get it. Although I think a lot of places have changed, you know, since COVID, so it may be better, but we always just go get it. And we have control.
Well, my favorite is Modern. And I feel like that's a hometown favorite. I don't know if Brian can answer this question because of his role in New Haven, but I'd like for him to speak and do something or say something. So Brian, what is your favorite pizza?
He can type it.
Is he making dinner? Is he?
He says, "I like them all for different reasons." Oh, come on now. Give us a few on their reasons.
I mean, Brian. I mean, we understand that we're not going to hold you to it and tell everybody. Like you can say, you could give a political answer, like okay, like for certain times.
Oh, okay.
You know, like,
so we've got Pepe's is best sauce, Modern is best crust.
Okay.
Do you have a particular topping that's your favorite?
And do you have who's your new, like the new kid on the block? Who's your favorite on the new kid on the block? And then what happened, like where abates, like people are like, there's a whole abate contingent. I'm like, where did that come from?
He says, oh, great question. I'm not with the abate contingent.
I do like Nolo.
Are you on the Nolo or the team Sapardi's? I don't know if Sapardi's would be, I think, old school, but they're in a different town, but they don't get the credit that they deserve. And then Bar. And
I'm really a pizza enthusiast, he says.
Huh?
Oh, he is. So I assume you've seen the New Haven pizza documentary.
Yes.
Yes. My friend's drawings are in that documentary.
Who?
Her artist's name is Amos Catfish. And she does the, what do you call it when they speed up the video?
So Steve was
speed
on here.
draws?
Steve Ham was on here last week. Like he wasn't one of
Oh,
the guests. He was just he just wanted
hanging
to
out.
listen and come in. And
Uh-huh.
so I had an event probably like 2 years ago where we had it on the Art Council, the roof deck in Audubon Circle, and we did a screening where he condensed it was documentary on Worcester Square, and he condensed it down just for the food part, and we had that part, and
Oh.
it's like an interactive kind of event that we have with the Food Policy Council. So Steve Ham was on here last week talking about, but he was also talking about his new documentary, which is on West River,
Yeah.
and the talking about how the river is 17 miles, and he's done 17 minutes of video, and he wanted feedback. So that was cool to hear about his project, because I like that he looks at himself as a community filmmaker.
Yeah.
Another comment on Facebook from Ella, who's been making all our comments so far. She says, being from Texas, where does a pizza come from? Makes me crazy. And also
A
love
pizza?
modern. That's my favorite. Yeah, a pizza with an A at the beginning.
First of all, it's pronounced a beats, right? A beats, a beats,
A beats.
Yeah.
right? A beats. That's what I learned from the documentary is how to pronounce it. You
I think
gotta
you
watch.
have to ask Colin. I mean, I've read about it, but I don't remember. Maybe Brian can give us the
Yeah.
Etymology. Where does
yeah.
that word come from?
What's Colin's last name?
God, I'm blanking on it. He's
But
like
he
the
has
new.
a book on pizza, Ella. He's my classmate, former classmate from Hamden Hall,
Okay.
although not in my year. But
Brian says, I remember from the documentary that a beats is an abbreviation of La Pizza. And Kaplan?
yes,
that a name?
Kaplan. Yes.
Pizza. Yes,
So he has a
Colin
really good book. And then he has actually
Kaplan.
I love what's his company called? I Love New Haven, or no, that's
Colin Kaplan, says Ella.
yeah, Colin Kaplan. Look at
Yeah.
the name of his business. I'm really blanking on the name of his business, but I read his newsletter this week, and he has some really great classes, pizza classes coming up that you can do virtually,
Oh, really?
and also talking about pizza history with
Oh,
different people. So he has a pizza maker from Zapardi's, which is in West Haven, that I always say doesn't get the play that it deserves. I learned about it when I moved back to New Haven 10 years ago. And as a way to have a way to learn about the city in a new way again, I went to different pizza parlors that are not like Pepe's and Sally's and Modern. So I discovered Grand Pizza, Zapardi's, Ernie's, like stuff like that, where people are like, these are really great pizza places and you should try them.
Yeah.
And so Zapardi's is wonderful. It's in West Haven. It's great to go buy a pizza. They sell frozen pizzas. But we go get a pizza and we bring it to the beach and go eat it by the beach. I love that. And talking about that, Grand Pizza is great because it's on the caliber of Pepe's and Sally's, but it became more of a neighborhood joint. But it's right by the Quinnipiac. Is that the Quinnipiac River? Right by where in Fairhaven where the bridge goes up. So we go get a pizza and then go eat by the water. It's really nice.
Oh,
And Ella says, Colin Kaplan does great New Haven tours. I have his webpage up. Let's see, he started Taste of New Haven.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Yes. And he's so nice. Everyone involved in that documentary is like so nice.
And it seems Kaplan also started the firm Grisso Forte to preserve his historical properties and educate people about the region's history and development.
Nice. That's really important.
Mhm.
So what is Arkansas like?
There's definitely a lot of nature. We lived in Little Rock, so I wasn't necessarily exposed to the nature, but there's sort of like the Ozark area where people might go to visit. I mean, it's the South. And
Is it
I
like
moved
that
away
show?
from
Is it like that show, The Ozarks? Have you watched that show?
there. Mm-mm. But I moved away just before they sort of revitalized downtown Little Rock. I mean, because it used to be just like nobody would go downtown. And then after Clinton was president and he came back and they did the Clinton Library, and then that area sort of started picking up. But I don't know what it's like currently. I hope, that people are living downtown and enjoying it. It's a shame. And I also lived there I lived downtown Little Rock when the first tornado in 100 years came through that area.
Oh, wow.
And it was just so sad because like all these, 100-year-old huge oak trees were like disrupted, and these old, houses that are on the historic registry. So it was so sort of devastating to that area. Yeah.
I'm almost at the end of the road for my necklace. I'm feeling so accomplished.
Yeah, you did it.
Goes well with your, is that a sweater?
It's like pink and red though. I don't know if those really go.
You can do it.
Yeah, they're both
I'm
warm
probably
colors.
gonna
I
give
don't
it
see
to,
why not.
I'm probably gonna give it to my daughter. I don't know.
I think I'm finishing up my spread over here.
Let's see what yours looks like.
Okay. I just put the Mod Podge on. So it will be backwards, bullet. Can
Oh,
you see it?
yeah. I like
So-
that.
Who does the soul work?
The soul work. Because this book is about souls. She changed it from 500 soups to 500 souls. But no, I can't remember, like a lot of people in this book wrote about recipes and things that were handed down. Particularly as far as soup goes, I can't remember eating soup when I was a child.
Oh, really? In Jamaica, and my mom was, even though we didn't live in Jamaica, I lived in Toronto for the first 10 years and we moved to New Haven when I was 10. But every Saturday is soup day. So we usually have soup every Saturday.
Yeah.
I always could not stand that growing up. Because can you imagine like being in North America and being like, oh, what are you eating on a Saturday? I'm like eating soup. And just being so hungry and then just drinking, because it's like, it wasn't like soup and then like a casserole or a sandwich or
Just
like soup. And it had dumplings and like it had starch in it and stuff, but you're just like, oh, we're drinking soup again. And I always loved it. I always got more than one cup of soup because that's all that one bowl of soup because that's all that there was to eat on a Saturday.
We do.
My mom wasn't playing like I'm gonna do short order cook. It's like to soup or nothing.
Super. We do a St. Patrick's Day party every year that's called Sing for Your Soup. And we make, and when I say we, I mean my husband makes 2 or 3 kinds of soup, and we serve it to anyone who's willing to perform at our party. So you bring the entertainment and we serve the soup.
That sounds fun.
It can get pretty raucous. It's very fun. Of course, well, actually we did have it last year, but we won't have it this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, I missed out on Cinco de Mayo and then also on the Kentucky Derby. Those are some really great parties in New Haven.
Mm.
I love dressing up, and I like to make my fascinators, you know. Rose, you
Uh-huh.
can't wait till I start making fascinators when
That
the
sounds
spring
fascinating.
comes. I
Sounds fast.
know.
Nice.
So here's my necklace.
Cool.
It's all with different beads that were from different necklaces.
I love that you're reusing.
Yeah, I mean, because all the, like, I was saying to my daughter, she likes thrifting, and I was saying that you know, so much of that, the old clothes and old furniture and everything, it's so much better made. And so the same thing with the beads. The beads are so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my mom was really into beading for a while, and she'd get them from like Goodwill and Free Cycle and tag sales and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter if it was all tangled and broken. She's going to take it apart anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I like about it. So um it's like something that people are going to discard and not use anyway and make something really nice, you know?
Another comment from Ella. Soup is not a meal, quoting Seinfeld.
I get the
Yeah.
appeal now as an adult. It's so easy.
But I also get being like having something so often that you're sick of it. Like my dad really likes making salads. So more evenings than not, we had a salad, just a green garden salad with dinner, and I got sick of them.
I mean, I like salad and I like soup, but you have to eat a lot of it to make you feel like you've eaten something.
Yeah.
And that's where um the issue is with me, that you're like, okay, you drink the soup and then you're really hungry 2 hours later. So I was trying to find some other string. I asked my daughter if she can find my other wire. Hopefully I can find something to make a earrings. Okay. That match.
Matching earrings.
I like things that match.
You do. I
As I
got
say
new
to my
earrings.
daughter, I'm just basic. I'm basic. You know?
I don't think you're basic.
You know the kids, they use the word
I know
basic.
you. Oh,
They use the word,
what does it mean in kid speak?
I'm just regular, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not ravishing.
Let's see.
I don't know if they know what the word ravishing even means.
Ravishing. Dang it.
I'm not anything spectacular. I'm just a regular person.
I don't know. I think I stand by my comment.
I know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be funny.
Okay. Ella says, great job, everyone. I gotta run. You made me hungry. Dinner. Bye, Ella.
Bye.
We're glad you could join us.
Bye,
Thank you, Ella, for coming.
So sweet.
So, what do you think with what's going on? Like, what do you feel like 2021 has to offer us, especially in regard to art
Oh man.
or being a creative?
You know, I heard a soundbite today that of an artist talking about how art is so important during times of healing, you know, and I think some amazing stuff is going to come out of everything that's going around. I just think, yeah, we turn to art, we turn to creativity and curiosity, especially, I mean, we're talking about, you know, really just like breaking a cycle that's been going on for so long. So, and we don't like have a path. We don't have like a pre, you know, like something to look at to say, oh, that's how that's done, you know? We're making it up as we go along. And so, yeah, creativity and curiosity is critical, you know, when you don't know where you're going. And I mean, just to be in it too.
I can't find the other pieces for I can only find one. I have a whole bunch of pieces. And so this is what I'd make for an earring. And
Yeah.
I can't find a partner one. I know that I have them. Let me see if I have them.
It looks like one of those flexible sewing needles.
With those curved ones you use for upholstery or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's only curved because it was like bent up. It's not. Oh, I have
okay.
some other ones. Yeah, I found some. So I'll be able to make some earrings.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you find money because for different institutions, because so many people lost audience fees. And then especially for museums, so many museums are based on they're based on people coming to visit the exhibit. And since, you know, like we've been shut down, like places like the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston has the Basquiat exhibit. And I feel like some museums have done a really good job of doing stuff virtually, but a lot of them haven't maximized that. If we can't go somewhere, I still want to see the exhibit. You know?
Yeah. I mean, imagine a year without like art.
Well, I was so glad because I mean it's beautiful to see it online. It still is. Because like people are like, it's not the same. And I'm like, when am I ever getting over to, you know, Finland or you know, some of these exhibits that have happened that, you know, I would never, you know, like the only reason why I'm looking at them is because I mean, it brought to attention that, okay, this is a great exhibit, but because of COVID, you're like, I'm not going over to Finland anytime soon. So but it was nice to go to the ICA in Boston, and there wasn't, you know, they did it really well where it wasn't overpacked, so I felt comfortable because you know museums are huge. But to see like artwork in person, that was nice.
I love the ICA. They used to have a family Saturdays where you could take your kids and they would do like a program for the kids, and then you could go walk around and see all the different exhibits. I think it was free too.
Yeah. Well, they have I think it's on Thursdays is their free day.
Yeah.
The Museum of Fine Arts.
Yeah.
The Museum of Fine Arts, it's on Wednesday afternoons, and I think the ICA is on Thursdays. Got all my stuff together.
Well, the New Haven, they were doing Thursday nights. I mean, it's always free, but I think they were open later Thursday nights or something.
Oh, because like the Yale Art Gallery, I was so upset because I was trying to get tickets and it was like so they were all sold out. And I think they were, you know, when they do those timed tickets, if you're not right there, you don't get them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I miss going to the museum. I miss going to the Yale Art Gallery and the British Art Museum. So what do you feel, you know, people use this word like normal, new normal, this, that, the other. What do you feel like our life will be like? I don't know if we can call it post-COVID era, per se.
It's BC is before COVID. 2019 BC.
Well, what will our life? My sister-in-law, I don't like telling people this, but my sister-in-law had to bring their child to visit family from Hong Kong. And I said, so what are they saying over there in Hong Kong? And they're saying like 2024.
As far as
no life going back to quote unquote normal.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it doesn't go back to normal, you know? I mean, I hope that these systems that are being shaken up, that somebody, whoever has the power, realizes that, you know, it wasn't working. So maybe now's a good time to reevaluate, you know, even like the idea of higher education is like, it's a very old system that needs some serious overhaul.
There are
Yeah.
definitely
So
things that I hope stay, like greater access to healthcare, greater
Yeah.
opportunities for people to work from home if their job doesn't necessarily require them to like be in a specific location. Give people the flexibility for that sort of thing.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, nuance, you know, nuance is missing. I found it missing before COVID, and I think a lot of times it's missing now. It's just, it's like we live in a very like this or that world, you know, and I don't think that's very healthy.
What do you, how do you feel like creative life is different in New Haven than it is in other parts of the country that you've been in? I would say like you shared Boston and I guess Arkansas and wherever else you've been.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a lot more, I think I'm a lot more like sort of aware of what's going on besides me at this stage in my life. So, but there definitely seems to be a lot of support for artists in this area. And both like at the community level and also from, you know, organizations, and I don't know. It feels much more community based to me. I don't know if that's just because I'm like,
it's your own
myself am more
experience.
community based, you know, like I'm into community, so maybe that's what I'm noticing.
Do you go to Whitneyville Food Center?
Yeah, I love them.
I love them
I mean,
too.
I can't go there every day because it would break the bank, but
I know. I love them.
yeah, I live in Whitneyville. Did you know that?
Yeah. That's why I asked you.
Yes.
My mom is really good friends with the owner's sister. And but I grew up going there because I went to Hamden Hall. And so when I was going to Hamden Hall, they had terrible food. Like for lunch. We'd be able to have like a hamburger, a hot dog, a bagel with cream cheese. Those were our options. It was just, and then I think like they had that terrible pizza that you know, like just that terrible, I couldn't even, I don't think it's like the pizza, it looked like pizza that you got in Italy, actually. When I went to Italy, I was like, oh my God, I have to try the pizza. But I knew I didn't want to try the pizza because the pizza didn't look good. I could tell, but I was like, I'm in Italy, I have to try the pizza. The pizza didn't taste good.
Oh no.
I don't know. I didn't go to Naples. I always preface, I didn't go to Naples, so I can't say, but where in Florence, everything else was delicious though. Everything else was amazing. Risotto, gnocchi, things that are really difficult to make. They hit it out the park. I was so happy.
So funny, people associate pizza as being Italian.
Well, I always say to people, it's like where the son did it better than the father, or the, you know, like the grandchild did it better than the grandparent. Where are places outside of your house that you like, that give you inspiration or you like to be creative in?
Definitely nature. I'm like a forest girl, so I think there's like water people, and then there's like people that like to walk around in the urban spaces, and I just like to go out where there's like trees. And
so where do you like to go? Do you like to go to West Rock? Do you like where are your places that you like to go?
A lot of times I go to the Estonia Nature Center. Have you been there?
No, I've heard about it though.
Yeah. It's just, for me, it's nice because like I'm not usually going out to nature to see people. Like if I want to see people, I'll go somewhere else. So I like going because I usually don't see a lot of other people there. So I can take my dog and he can go off leash and we just have we go
That's
for
why I
as
like
long as.
going to West Rock because there's not a lot of people in West Rock. Even on a nice sunny day,
Oh,
not a lot.
really?
Yeah, there's not. No, there's not. It's like West Rock is big enough, but then there's not. People go up on different sides, but and then people kind of drive up and then they might go down the way that they
Right.
want to. But there's never a lot of people there. It's not like East Rock at all in the least. So that's one of my favorite. Wintergreen
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, wintergreen is really nice.
Sleeping Giant is nice too. And then I think depending on which trail you're on, it'll be more or less busy. Like if you're going up the Tower Trail, of course, everyone's going to be on that. But if you go one of the smaller, more difficult trails, you got to have it more to yourself.
Yeah. I was sad that last year I only went to like Long Wharf. I didn't get to go to the beach because all the beaches seemed like they were really packed and I didn't want to do that. But
Yeah.
I missed that. I liked going down to Long Wharf. I always love going to the um
The food
taco
trucks.
carts and having a picnic across. Then we walk down where Amistad used to be and sit down there and just take it all in. It's so pretty. I like that industrial beach view that New Haven has to offer. So who do you find, who do you get inspiration from? Who are some of the artists and or creatives that you are inspired by?
Um, so I have been studying a couple different artists for, I run the blog Needle Movers, and we post about a different woman each week that has moved the needle closer to equity. And one of the artists that I wrote about that I'd never heard of before is Alice Neal. And I was like blown away by this woman. She did portraiture like her entire life. But I don't know. I don't have an art like history background, so I like just getting into someone and seeing, like just like losing myself in that person's life for a while. I watch the documentary, I read all the books, I like look at all the work and kind of, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to like soak it all up. I do the same thing with authors. Like I want to know everything about the person, if I like one thing. I love Cindy Sherman, and who's a photographer who does crazy self-portraits. And it's funny, my son is playing music downstairs right now. You guys can't hear it, can you?
A little bit.
It's like, you can hear it. Mm-hmm. It's like the constant backdrop to my life.
My daughter sings. She sings her chorus songs.
Sort of seeps into your consciousness. I love the middle school age.
I think I might have finished earrings today.
Yay.
Ooh, all right. Fast.
I wish I would have thought I was doing jewelry because then I would have I have so much more beads upstairs. And I haven't made jewelry in a while, so I feel inspired to make myself some more stuff. Every time I say I'm making something for someone else, I always make it for myself. Like, I like those earrings. I'm like, I like them too.
Yeah.
So where do you want to travel to
Oh,
when you
man.
can travel?
We had a road trip planned to Colorado last summer. To the
We're in
Denver area.
Colorado.
It's closer to Telluride, but it's sort of in the Denver area.
Okay.
They Telluride does a bluegrass festival every year.
Oh, okay.
And so my husband's dad, they get a house and stuff, and they're always trying to get us to come out. So this past summer we were like, okay, we're gonna come. That didn't happen,
Yeah.
obviously. So I don't know if it's gonna happen this summer either, though. I mean, in some
I
ways it feels
know.
too soon. I don't think we can plan on it, like I think it'd be nice if it
know.
did. But like places you can drive to, like I'd love to go to Vermont, and we
I'm
haven't
talking,
been.
do you know Sterling College?
No.
They're agricultural college in Vermont. And I
Oh.
studied agriculture there. So they want me to come and do some. We're going to be talking about that in January.
Ooh. Where is it in Vermont?
It's in the Northeast Kingdom.
That's my favorite part.
Isn't that pretty? So it's right outside of Hardwick. It's in Craftsbury
Okay.
Common. I don't know if you know Craftsbury Common.
I don't know if we got that far, but yeah.
What's the town that's close up there that they I don't know if they still have, they used to have the New England Culinary. I don't know if it's open now, because who knows if whatever is open now. The New England Culinary Institute. So it's not Burlington, but there's another major town.
Is it Bennington? No. Not
Is that it? What is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's right outside of Hardwick.
Okay.
And it's really pretty, and they do a lot of food things up there. I hope to be there again. It's pretty. I think
How long were
Connecticut.
you there?
Huh?
How long were you there?
I studied for like 6 weeks. I studied for summer.
Oh, that's cool. Man.
And I'd never really experienced Vermont before. So I just gone to Middlebury a couple times to visit friend outside of college, had a friend there. So been into Middlebury, but it's so pretty. It's a really pretty state.
Yeah. There's something in the air there that makes me feel at home. I had this bumper sticker on my old car that said "Misplaced Vermonter," even though I've never lived there. And I would like meet the most interesting people because they would be like, "Oh, you're from Vermont too," and I'm like, "No, I'm not, but I wish I was. I love it so much."
Yeah, people are really nice there.
Yeah, they really are.
And the food is so good because they're so into that. When I was up there, we butchered a pig, and we made sausage, and we made like suppressata. Like that was on my bucket list. And we made suppressata, salami, and we made brie and hunter sausage, and just made our own bread. Like everything was made from scratch because it was an agricultural college. So everything they tried in the summertime to grow as much stuff as possible. And as many things from scratch as possible. So it was very cool experience.
That's one of the things that I hope sticks around is like people growing their own food. Like a lot of people kind of rediscovered that or explored it this past year.
Yeah.
And I was just reading about like how that's one of the ways that we can really support each other, you know, is if you have the ability to grow food, to do it, and if you have the land to grow food, to do it. And
Yeah, I'd like to see people growing food more communally. Like you have community
yeah.
gardens, but then so many people, when you start a community garden, like when I was in Boston, I had a beautiful community garden in Roxbury. And, I'd only see like two people there, and people start a
Mm-hmm.
garden. And then, a lot of people who start gardens are older. And then, a person got sick or they hurt themselves. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
we should have a community model where it's like, I'm able to go to your plot and pick your food for you and come bring it to you,
Yeah.
and, like we don't have that kind of stuff. Or, like the bioregional project here in New Haven, how they grow everything together. It's not one plot. I like that. I think it's better not to have one plot, that you just grow a whole garden where you have tomatoes in one bay. You have peppers, you
Mhm.
have everything, and then you just split it up all together, as opposed to you have your garden, I have my garden, and then you get tired or something happens to you and then you can't come and tend to it, and then um the food goes to waste.
Right. Or even just like people that grow so much they can't possibly eat
Right.
it themselves.
Yeah. Well, you have some gardens that they grow rows for food banks and stuff like that, which is really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we don't have a ton of land, but we live on a corner lot and we definitely have space. And I did some gardening, like butternut squash and tomatoes and cucumbers. But I've always just wanted someone to like use the land because I just feel like we don't really have the time or knowledge to do it, but like the land is just sitting there, you know? But there's like, I don't even know of a forum or anything where you would. I just put it out there when I can, and I'm waiting on someone to show up that wants to garden on my land. So if you know of anyone. And it's not like huge, but it's big enough. Like you could grow enough food to feed your family for sure. On
Well,
our
you don't
lot.
need that. You don't really need a lot of space. That's what people don't realize, like you don't
Right.
really need as much space as people think that you do to do container gardening. You can
Right.
have 6-foot
Or,
space and be able to grow
right.
enough
You use
food for,
vertical space, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
At the library, we do take and make kits, which have like supplies for projects. And later this month, we're going to be doing hydroponic gardening. So it's like
Ooh.
starting with, you don't need soil or anything. It's like some potting medium and some water and some nutrients in a jar, and you can grow something. So we're going to give seeds for herbs.
oh, remember I said I want to do that.
Okay, we'll reserve a kit for you.
You don't need water? So interesting.
You do need water.
You need, yeah, they're growing it in water. That's what
Oh,
they're
I see.
growing it in.
Water, but no soil.
Yeah.
You don't need soil.
Yeah. So that's the future. It doesn't have as much nutrients as soil, but if it is a way to be able in an urban environment to grow food for us. It's interesting.
Particularly in a small space.
Yeah. So I feel so accomplished. Perhaps it's because Brian is on here, but here I made my earrings.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I have to have an outfit for this.
I'm almost done with another spread.
All right, so we have 20 minutes. So if anyone wants me to, because I'm gonna start cleaning up. If anyone wants me to read, if you want me to read your cards, I can do that in a second.
Oh, cool. You are multi-talented.
Pardon?
You are multi-talented.
I try. I try. I try. Thank you. My director said I had to say thank you. I'm sorry. I'm not used to compliments.
Well, we were talking about that earlier, me and Ella, because I once did a magazine cover interview on a woman who had a jewelry line, and the line was called Compliment. So each piece of jewelry had a little compliment on it, and then you would give it to someone, and they're getting like a gift of jewelry, but they're also getting this compliment. So such a cool idea. But I was telling Ella how I asked her, you know, like, why are women, or we were talking about how women are really uncomfortable receiving compliments, you know, and how we could like change that. And she said, well, when someone gives you a compliment, all you have to do is say thank you. And I was like, what? Like, is it really like, it's really that simple? Like, that's all. I was like, my mind was blown. And then I like started telling everyone I knew. I was like, if you get a compliment, all you have to do is say thank you. But it really does change it, you know, because you're not sitting there thinking like, no, my hair actually doesn't look good. I didn't wash it today. You're just like, thank you. And then you move on, you know, you both move on.
I think that you it's like sometimes you don't even realize what a compliment is though. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when someone gives you a compliment, you're like just taken off guard. But I said that I'm trying to do more receiving. So I'm trying
Yeah.
to take all of that in
It's a,
as part of manifestation and just
okay.
accepting goodness and wanting more goodness to come into your life.
Here's my final.
Ooh,
I like that.
reset, renewal, mystery, truth.
You're good at reading backwards.
It's forward for me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's forward for us.
like, why is it backwards for me? That's not fair. Yeah, this is so easy. These are just the Posca paint markers. And like,
I've heard of those.
it's like coloring, but you know, it's much more saturated and very forgiving.
I've seen artists using those to make some pretty bold, like pop art style drawings.
Yeah. And they dry really quickly, which is nice if you want to layer, you know. If you're using like actual paint, it's going to take a while to dry.
So do you want me to do your cards?
Yeah, I do. I totally do.
All right. I have regular goddess cards or inner goddess cards, and then I have cards that I made. So I'll do 2 card readings for you.
Okay.
So do you want your inner goddess or your goddess cards read?
I want inner goddess.
I like these cards. These are brand new cards that I got.
Uh-huh.
And the artist is Lisa Ferrante.
Uh-huh.
I like, look, Lily.
Oh man. Ooh.
They're really beautiful. They're really pretty.
Oh. I love that one.
So I shuffle them. So put your energy in here. And then tell me when to stop, please.
Okay, stop.
And then I'm gonna and then call them happy hands. I run my happy hands over them. You can't see, but I'm running my hands over them, or both of my hands. So you can tell me when to stop.
Okay, stop.
All right. You got Gypsy.
Ooh, look at her hair.
So, let's see what it says for you. I assume it means that you like to display my gypsy soul.
It
You
says
like to
display my gypsy soul.
blame my gypsy soul. So
Blame.
I blame. So I assume that
Mm-hmm.
like gypsy, like wanting to move and stuff like that. You're encouraged to say yes to new opportunities and adventures, ideas and connections, especially the ones that fill your heart with a sense of excitement, Perhaps just before your mind begins to dwell on doubts and concerns, trying to talk you out of something before you even give it a chance. You can handle the unfamiliar better than most. Once you get your bearings, you'll find a way to thrive, to enjoy what you discover and experience. Let the yearning of your soul to explore the new and exciting inspire you. The unfamiliar and the unknown hold great blessings for you. Open yourself to new horizons. Spiritual guidance. There's wanderlust in your soul, the heart quest for new worlds and amazing experiences. You're supposed to feel this way. You have a gypsy soul and will always seek out something new and different. This is just how your life is meant to be, a defined adventure. And there's an adventure that is meant for just you, places to see, people to meet, experiences to have. You are meant to go on a journey inside of yourself and out of the world. You are meant to explore a world bigger than the one you currently know. It's going to happen. Trust in divine timing. Be open to what life has in store for you. Maybe you are a little afraid and wonder if you are brave enough. Quick answer, you are brave enough and then some. Maybe you worry that you are missed your chance, but you cannot miss your destiny. It is right here waiting for you, and your gypsy soul is going to grow and fulfill even more of your purpose for which you were born. Sacred ritual. Find a place where you can stand comfortably. Say aloud, through unconditional love, I give the universe permission to guide me on a divine adventure. I trust the gypsy in my heart, which urges me to explore the new and unfamiliar and to make the entire world my home. I am curious and open, and I trust that I will be looked after as I take my soul journey. Then open your arms wide as if you are embracing your future, the adventures that you are meant for you, and all the beautiful blessings that life will bring you. For now, you are open, ready, and willing to receive. Gently scoop up all those good things and accept them into your heart. And I'll take a picture
Yeah.
and of the reading and the card for you and
Thank
text it to you.
you. That's
So
perfect.
why do you feel like you got that card? I always ask people because like this is the first time we've had a long ever conversation. We've met a couple times, but
Yeah.
why do you feel like, if I knew you, I'd be able to, maybe have some insight why you got that card? So why do you feel like you got that card?
Hold on one sec. Door came open. I mean, it's perfect for my like overall personality because I'm very that I have that bohemian spirit and I'm very spontaneous and just like I'm open to anything for sure. But I think it goes really well with my word of the year as this idea of like, I'm on a journey and it's the same journey, but it's also like, just like going back sort of like mentally with a more open mind, and the idea of resetting like old habits or old stories or old systems and just, yeah. And it goes really well with Ladymade because I have no idea where it's going, and
You're ready for that journey?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Like to me, it's not scary. Like I do know that I'll be able to handle whatever comes. So it's just really exciting to me. Yeah.
I brought the wrong box down. I brought the box that has Ella gave this to me. It's meditation. So my other cards are in that.
Oh no.
So
Those cards. You could pull one for yourself.
okay.
No.
Ryan, do you want me to pull an inner goddess card? You can have an inner goddess card or a goddess card too,
He says sure.
Okay.
Brian's open to anything too. I think he has a gypsy soul.
All right. I gotta remember I pulled gypsy for you. It's number 3, so I'll remember that later on when I. So Brian, you have to tell me, since you're being you don't want anyone to hear your voice because you want to be objective, I guess. tell me when to stop. And then Rose, tell me when
Mhm.
he says stop.
Stop.
All right. And then I have my magic hands. Tell me when to pick a card for you.
Okay, now.
Rock star.
Ooh.
Oh,
See what that says. These are new cards, so I don't know the meanings. So this is like probably the fourth time that I've used them.
Can we see the rock star card?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
see it again. Oh man.
I am a million
I'll read
different
what it says,
things
'cause
at a
this is
million different
backwards, I think.
times. I am me with no apologies.
Wow.
Ooh,
Nice.
is that you?
That's what it says.
No, I know. I'm saying that to Brian. Is that who he is? I am a million different things at a million different times. I am me without apologies.
He says the first part feels right.
So, rock star. You may have a subconscious fear of being judged or being the target of jealousy that causes you to shy away from the limelight. You may mistakenly believe that being in the spotlight means you're supposed to be perfect or better than everyone else. There's a higher purpose in standing apart from the crowd and being seen. Choose to accept the opportunities that make you more visible to others, trusting you will shine your truth and integrity to make it positive and a healing experience for yourself and others too. Spiritual guidance. There's a light in you that wants and needs to be seen, a side of you that is bold, bright, and unique. Even if it's something different from you or you aren't sure how comfortable you are going to be on center stage, sometimes there's a being placed in the spotlight. On one purpose can be to develop self-acceptance and self-confidence. Then you can rock your true self without having to tone it down, play it safe, or rein it in. You can become comfortable in your own skin that you no longer hide your inner divine beauty. Maybe others will then become less afraid to be themselves because you have shown them that being cool is about being cool with who you are, refusing to be stereotyped by people with insufficient imagination. There's a power in the freedom of not fitting in. You rather than someone else get to decide how you want to live your life. Relish it, be creative with it. You are meant to be free to express yourself authentically and to be seen doing so. So claim it, your inner rock star, and strut your soul stuff in this world. Sacred ritual. Play some music that you can rock around to in your lounge room, in the park or on the beach, in your bedroom, in private, in public, however you feel it. Let yourself express who you are. Dance the way you want to dance. Extra points if there's no music video. Sing if you want. Challenge and love yourself enough to practice being completely you. I don't know if you want to say why you thought you got that card.
He says into it. I'm a musician when I'm not a journalist, and this feels well timed.
I thought so too. I thought it was well timed too. The little I do know about you.
You want us
So
to tell a
yeah,
little about your music?
yeah. Well, I don't know if he wants to talk about his music, but I think it was he
says,
plays in about 6 different bands.
Oh my
And so I guess this was like trying to just illuminate your inner rock star and saying that regardless of COVID, keep on rocking out.
Yeah. That is a clear message.
Mhm.
So Rose, do you want to talk about what we have coming up, or am I supposed to talk about that?
I can. So I
Okay.
mentioned earlier we've got take and make kits. So this
Yeah.
week and next week we're doing a home spa kit, and then Saturday the 16th, Nadine is going to be doing a program with that. The kit has supplies for bath bombs, a body scrub, and massage oil. So Nadine is going to be showing us how to make that. And I think are you going to be doing some other projects as well?
Right. So then there's a first part where you get to do the make and take, and then there's a second part where we do like a mini spa day. And so I'm going to show people how to be able to do a spa day at home. And there'll be the food component. So spa cuisine at home. And then the first part is making stuff that you can have in your regular pantry to be able to do your own natural spa day in the comfort of where you live. And then I have coming up, and we'll talk about it probably next week, but for Martin Luther King Day, we're making pies and we're celebrating. I got my first cover of a food magazine for Yankee Magazine.
Yay.
And it is on an event, thank you, that I did at the Institute Library. And it's called Peace Through Pie. And so we're going to be encouraging people to make pie. Next week, Wednesday, I'm making pie with Catalina Riggleman from Catalina's Bakery. And so I will be at her bakery, and because it's big enough for us to social distance, and she'll be making sweet pies and doing crusts, because I don't really do pastry like that. Although I'm sure that she's gonna probably make me do pastry, and I'll be doing sweet pies. And so in Yankee Magazine, there were like 5 recipes that are there. So we're just celebrating the Institute Library on Martin Luther King Day. We're celebrating Peace Through Pie, which is an organization that encourages people to make pie and come together and talk about the importance of civil rights and activism, and also celebrating Haven's Harvest and Common Ground School, that when we did the original event last year, they donated food and space, and we made pies, and it was original fundraiser for Institute Library, but it's part of a larger organization that uses pies as a way to get people to come together and be in community with each other. And so we have some other events in January, but I will tell you about them next week, because they will all, the launch is with Peace Through Pie, and then we'll be making gumbo. And then on President's Day, we'll be doing a program called Stir the Pot that started here in New Haven, and that we got a small grant to be able to take it national. So really excited for some good events. Oh, the last Monday in January, we're starting our plant-based vegan series also.
And unrelated to Nadine's programs, also this Friday in the Tinker Lab, we're going to be running a virtual program, 3D modeling with Tinkercad. So it's going to be showing you how to use a website called Tinkercad to make 3D models that we can then print out for you using our 3D printer.
Yes, so please check out the library and all the wonderful programs they have to offer.
nhfpl.org.
Yes, and thank you, Lily, for being here. Thank you, Brian. Anyone else who's on Facebook, who's been tuning in, thank you so much. I learned a lot about you. I'm so glad that we got a chance to meet. We look forward to seeing what Ladymade has to offer in 2021, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun too. See, it went pretty fast, right?
Yeah, time flies.
It did.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the artists say that I make them emotionally vulnerable. I don't know if I did that.
I think I'm always emotionally vulnerable. I just played right into your hand.
I try and behave myself, because Rose is she's a very, I feel like I can't get too crazy. But as we get closer to June and everything ending, it's like it might get wild. It might get wild and crazy. But for now, we're just like, okay, signing off from Co-Create. Thank you. See you next week.
You can get spontaneous as long as it stays family friendly. Anything goes.
That's the point, though, Rose.
But we are a public library, so.
I know.
I felt very safe.
Yay.
Good. All right. Thank you so much. See you guys next week.
I'm glad everyone could join us. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.